Good morning, my dear internet wanderers. I am coming to you because I recently finished the sketchbook. I think I got it like 2 years ago when I was in Florence, and I always get sketchbooks for souvenirs. And when I got it, I was in a bit of a Greek mythology phase, so I started drawing those themes, and soon enough this became the Greek mythology sketchbook. Now, I didn't go in order, so it might be a bit scattered when I talk about what's in this, but I hope you'll bear with me and enjoy the pretty pictures. So first spread, of course, it had to be Hestia. I have Hestia and Hermes, and Hestia by herself. And then I went on to the mother of the gods, Rhea. Got a portrait of her and her wrestling Eurynome for the title of Queen of Olympus. And some more Rhea with her lion, and the portrait of Zeus and Hera. And here I got some Leto, and I have her with her sacred animal, the mongoose, and the scene where it said that she provided a sex change to a young man named Lycippus. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but I did this for the Trans Day of Visibility. And this is Hera with her cuckoo staff, and Hera and Zeus. And some Apollo and Hyacinthus, and Apollo with baby Chiron. I really loved drawing baby Chiron in this sketchbook. I really like his story, like he was abandoned at birth and then Apollo adopted him, and like his father is Kronos, so for him to be abandoned at birth when Zeus was still a child, that means that the baby lived through the Titamachony alone, and then he was found by Apollo. And it's kind of a sweet story with Apollo raising him and helping him get over his traumas. This is Apollo with some griffins. I based this composition on a vase drawing. And this one, the design of the griffin is based on the one from some frescoes in Crete. And we have Apollo with ravens, and Leto with her babies. And we have some more Leto and Apollo and wolves, because wolves are sacred to both Leto and Apollo. And I had a bit of an accident here when I ripped the paper, but I managed to stitch it back together. This is Leto running away from Python, and Apollo learning divination, rock divination from the bee maidens. And some more Apollo with swans. There's a lot of the Delian family in the first half of the sketchbook. And some more Chiron and Apollo. And this is Apollo and Orpheus with his mother Calliope. And some more Chiron, and this is a portrait of the full family. The baby, I thought it could be any of Apollo's sons, but I also thought it could be Carnus, who was a son of Zeus and Europa that Apollo and Leto raised together. And this is Hyacinthus. I think this is the first Hyacinthus spread I did, with them traveling in the swan-drawn chariot of Apollo. And a portrait, and this is Apollo slaying Python, and Leto and her babies, grown-up babies. This is babies, and Apollo with wolves. And this was inspired by a statue where Apollo is catching a lizard, and he has this really cute hairstyles with 2 puffs of hair. So I drew a portrait, and I drew Artemis putting his hair in that hairstyle. And this is a half of the story of Leto traveling to Lycia when she was chased away from a river by some peasants, and she ended up reuniting with the wolves that accompanied her during her pregnancy and taking her children to bathe in the river Xanthus. And then she consecrated the river to Apollo. This is the birth of Apollo, with Themis feeding him nectar and Artemis and Phoebe taking care of Leto. And this was the first Chiron spread, when Apollo finds him, and here Artemis and Apollo are teaching him archery. I think this is one of my favorite illustrations I did in this entire sketchbook. And this I did while we were waiting in the airport, so it's a bit wonkier. It's Artemis with a deer, and the nymph Chloris becoming Flora. This is inspired by Botticelli's Primavera, because I wasn't in Florence for nothing. And this is the very first spread of the sketchbook that I did. And for the first thing, I kind of... there is a vase drawing of Leto running away with Python, from Python. And Apollo and Artemis don't really look like babies, they look like tiny adults. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this one, but for the rest I made them look like babies, because I like my cute little round babies. And a portrait of Leto, again with a mongoose, and Leto with her babies and 2 of her sacred animals, the mongoose and the rooster. This is Leto with wolves during her pregnancy, when she was wandering the earth, and more family portraits. And Apollo with a very fluffy raven, and Apollo with Orpheus. A portrait of the twins, and the mama bear that brought her cubs to Artemis. And we have Chiron learning how to play the lyre, and a portrait of Artemis. And little Artemis asking for her gifts from Zeus, and Artemis teaching Chiron how to read tracks. And some more Apollo playing the lyre to some wolves. And Artemis and Apollo teaching themselves how to do archery. This is the one illustrations I'm not very happy with the composition. And this would be Apollo and Hyacinthus, and Artemis with baby Atalanta and bears, and Apollo's other lover Brancas, and some more Apollo and Hyacinthus, and Hyacinthus with a swan, and Apollo and Hermes, because they are best bros. And Hermes with baby Dionysus, and some more lyre playing. And some more hugs for baby Chiron, because he deserves all the hugs. And yeah, this is the other part from the journey of Leto in Lycia, when the peasants turn her away and when she turns them into frogs. And I have Apollo with his 3 daughters, the muses of the lyre, Nete, Messe, Hypate. I only remember the nicknames, sorry. As to why he's not playing a lyre and he's playing a kemanas instead, it made sense at some point. I cannot recreate that logic, but there was a logic. And this is Leto and Apollo teaching Carnus how to walk. And some more babies. I had a raven handing Apollo a mouse, since mice are also sacred to Apollo, and baby Chiron being very clingy. I have Hermes with baby Pan, and some more Apollo and Hyacinthus. And this is Apollo composing his triumph song after slaying a python. I drew this while I was in Delphi, actually. Some portraits, portrait of Athena, Demeter with a little Persephone. And this is Zeus's childhood on Crete with his nurses, I think Ida and Adrasteia. And this is Apollo and Artemis protecting their mother from the giant Tityos. And these are the crafter gods at work. Athena, I don't know if you can tell, is him weaving a little scene from the Odyssey. And this is baby Hermes. I came across a vase painting of Iris carrying baby Hermes, but I have no context for it. So I don't know if there was a version where Iris was her mother, or is just some senior herald teaching the new herald the ropes. But I really liked the vase painting and I wanted to draw it. And this is Hephaestus with Thetis, Thetis saving him, and him making jewels for her. And this is sad. It's Apollo mourning Hyacinthus and Hermes comforting him. And I got some more Orpheus and Calliope with Apollo, and another family portrait, and Chiron fishing with Artemis, and Hermes resting. And this is the actual death of Hyacinthus, and Apollo with an infant Asclepius. And we have, this is based on a little amber figurine that was found in a Roman castrum in Romania, my country. And it's super tiny and super cute, and I wanted to draw it. And this is Apollo and Hyacinthus. This is Athena with a little cat that was on her tholos when I visited Delphi. It was very cute and I wanted to draw it. And some Hermes with baby Dionysus. Some more Delian family and the baby twins. And Artemis getting her bow from Hephaestus. And Hermes stealing the cattle. I tried to draw the hooves of the cattle backwards, and it looks kind of disturbing. And I have Apollo with Orpheus and Linus, and this is a drawing of that one statue with Apollo and Hermes, Dionysus and Hermes, and I did give him a cap, but yeah, it's based on the statue. And this is the Zeus receiving his lightning, and the three brothers drawing lots for carving up the world between them. This is some more Asclepius, learning medicine from his father and from the snake. And this is Rhea mourning her children and leaving Zeus in the care of Gaia. And these are the Graces, and Apollo with baby Hermes, his soon-to-be favorite brother. And for this one, there was a really cool breastplate in the Archaeological Museum of Olympia that had an elaborate scene on it of Apollo returning from Hyperborea and getting welcomed by Zeus. So kind of draw a smaller version of it here, but I kind of made Ares wear the breastplate while he's training his daughters. And this is some Dionysus with Ariadne and with the pirates he turned into dolphins. And here we're getting into the hymn to Demeter. And yeah, you can see, like, these are not in order because I do not work in order. So we have Demeter looking for Persephone with Hecate and already mourning her at the fountain where the daughter of Schelias meet her. And I have Leto and Artemis hunting together, and a portrait of Aphrodite with her sacred dove. And I have Demeter reuniting with Persephone, and this is the scene where she was trying to make Demophon immortal, but her mother did not understand and begged her to stop. I kind of came with the idea of having the cornucopia empty while Persephone is in the underworld and full while she is above ground. And this is Apollo receiving the lyre from Hermes, and Hephaestus with his wife Aglaia. And yeah, this is the first scene from the hymn. Demeter with Persephone gathering flowers, with Athena and Artemis and her friend Cyan, and here is Cyan turning into a pond in her grief. And this is Dionysus mourning his dead lover, and Apollo and Hermes coming to comfort him. Like, isn't it kind of crazy that all three of them had a boyfriend that turned into a plant at some point? Apollo had multiple ones. And this is Dionysus and Ariadne and their cats. And Apollo receiving his tripod from Phoebe, and Dionysus and Hephaestus bonding over a cup of wine. And this was a little bit of a send-off to Chiron, showing him all grown up, and Apollo entrusting his sons Asclepius and Aristeus to him, and some Ares and Aphrodite. And this is Orpheus charming the animals, and Orpheus and Eurydice in the underworld, like after everything that happened, after the Maenads happened. And this is Hermes, Heracles, and Poseidon fishing. I based this on a vase painting. And Zeus with his favorite daughter, Athena. And for the last one, of course, again, Hestia, drinking with Zeus and a little portrait. So, that would be it. I hope you liked it. And now I need to decide what to begin. So, have a good day.